Meet the Spartans. Um, yes, it is amusing. Sometimes you even laugh, like now, remembering some scenes. And this is, in fact, one of the happiness exercises. There are multiple ways in which you can achieve a better state of being, a higher level of well-being, if we may say that. And this is one of them. Watching a comedy makes sense. In fact, studies have shown that even knowing now that you will watch a comedy sometimes later, say in the evening, increases your level of happiness a little bit. And that's good because happier people live longer, better professional, private lives. Now that we're in a pandemic, it's worth noting that they also tend to fall sick less frequently than the negative ones, and when they do, it uh, it takes them less. I mean, they stay fewer days, let's say, with the coronavirus. I wonder if they will test that too, to see what happens. Of course, we can't rely on that. I'm positive. As Martin Seligman said, being positive, being optimistic doesn't mean you're a pilot of a plane flying in winter and you say, I will not take care of my wings, let them be icy, even if they have to be taken care of. I'm optimistic nothing will happen. Well, something will. Or after a party you're drunk and you want to drive because you're optimistic. That's not being optimistic, that's being suicidal. Oh well, getting ready for something bad to happen. I digress, but then so is the movie. I mean, the movie is not really taking itself seriously. It does even have some sick jokes, like referring to that Spartan real, I mean, historically documented way of dealing with children who were not up to their standard. They just kill them. It wasn't a question of abortion, which for some is also killing. But once born, if they showed any sign of frailty, of weakness, they would just be killed, because the Spartans had this. I mean, it's in the language after all. He has a Spartan way of life, which could be argued that is close to being ascetic, being a stoic, but no, I would say the Spartans exaggerated in deprivation, in building strong bodies, to the point where one joke in the movie is drawing the abdomen muscles on some who didn't have the muscles, but just to make an absurd, amusing point. So there's that. There's this joke with a baby, the infant being kicked with a foot, like a football, somewhere near the beginning. Jokes on how tough they were, the children and the adults. Jokes with Persian king who has multiple chains and distracts a nipple with one of those piercings and chains and decorations. I don't know the name of the actor, but he's the partner of Borat, of Sacha Baron Cohen in Borat. That very heavy individual, traveling with Borat throughout America. So there are some we can't say gay jokes. In fact, I don't even know any gay joke. If come to think of it, I mean, what jokes they have, and they're not really tolerated anymore. I think unless they're, I mean, decent, they don't mock the community, which it seemed this movie did a little bit. Or I don't know. It was just in the sense that they mock the Spartans and they mock everyone. They mock Britney Spears, you name it. It's a satire. So in that, maybe we could think it wasn't really anti or ridiculing or something, but just, well, or if it did, it used ridicule for some bad behavior. At times it was, it always is a fine line, so I'm not censoring. That's another problem in the world of today. What is politically correct, what can be said and not. Some say it's not possible to say anything. Well, overall, amusing. Yes. This view laughed, even now, remembering some moments, but it's not really memorable.